EU foreign ministers meeting in Brussels have agreed on a plan to ease sanctions on Syria following the ousting of the Assad regime. The bloc's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, said the plan would be swiftly implemented to help kickstart Syria's recovery after almost 14 years of civil war. But she said it could be reversed if the new government in Damascus does not respect human rights. Current sanctions include a ban on Syrian oil exports and financial restrictions. Now, during Assad's regime, millions of Syrians left the country. Many of them are returning home for the first time now in a decade. My colleague Rama Jarmakani is one of them. We'll hear more from her in a minute, but first, let's take a look at what she found upon arriving in a homeland shattered by more than a decade of civil war.
At the border, feelings of joy mixed with anticipation. Honestly, I don't know what I feel or what awaits me, how I will face Damascus for the first time after all this separation. Like all Syrians during my years abroad, I had a dream that repeated dozens of times. I always found myself stuck in Damascus, desperately trying to find a way to return to Germany. Each time my dream began here on Mazze Highway. I found out this is called trauma. We were afraid to live here again. During days of wandering around the city, I saw different Damascus. I saw a tired, worn-out city. 14 years of war had exhausted the people and etched that on their faces. The city's colors had been drained. In Umayyad Square, songs played and young men danced. Armed, bearded militants stood scattered in the square, a sight we weren't used to in Damascus. Away from the joy, only a few hundred meters away, there was another image of Syria. In Marj Square, Syrians hung pictures of their loved ones from detainees or forcibly disappeared, hoping to hear news about them. I wandered among the pictures and tears when a man came up to me, searching for his relative.
People put these pictures here in case the prisoners come to communicate with their families.
I thought my 10 years of separation from my homeland were a tragedy, but I discovered that my suffering was nothing compared to theirs. At least my family knew I was still alive. For the first time in 10 years, I met my parents. Our separation is no different from any Syrian family. My parents grew old while I was far away, and I discovered that my mother is sick. I felt more anger than sadness. The regime denied me the chance to grow old with them, while the war made them lonely after their 4 children scattered across the world. Until now, I can't distinguish my emotions I'm experiencing, and often I feel nothing. I'm still in shock. Fear of what's coming, fear of the unknown, joy, anger, anticipation. All of this blends with the recurring question from everyone: where are we going?
That report by my colleague Rama Jarmakani. You saw her there, and she's now back from her visit and in the studio with me. Rama, that must have been a very emotional trip for you. We saw it there. You explained your feelings. Now that you're back here in Germany, have you been able to make sense of it all, of what you felt, of what you saw?
I think it's not only about me. I think all Syrians, they didn't believe yet what's going on. We all, me and my friends, we have these jokes like, okay, we think Al-Assad, we're gonna like just show up in any minute. We didn't believe because everything became very, very fast, and like we still like process everything. Also now it's like time of thinking about the future, what we should do, like Syrians, what the steps that Syrians should do for like protecting the country. So it's a lot of mixing feelings, hope, worry, everything together.
All right, so still a lot going on.
Yeah.
We saw that not all families like your own have been able to reunite as swiftly as you were able to go back and meet your parents for the first time in 10 years. A lot of people, especially prisoners that the Assad regime took, are still unaccounted for. What do you know? What were you able to find out about the efforts to find those people?
Yeah, actually, I'm in contact with some of the families who are like made like a union before from here in Germany and all over Europe, all over the world. They were talking about the case of their children and husbands and brothers during years. And now most of them are in Syria. They are looking for their loved ones. They are trying to connect with many organizations, even with the new government. moment just to talk about the destiny of them, because like looking for, if you know that your son is dead, is at least you have a closure. But when you don't have the closure, it's really hard. And also, some people, they just need the bodies or to know where the bodies of their sons. Like one of the women I met in the morgue in Damascus, she was like really... It was like she was very happy because she found the body of her son. And that was very sad at the same time. So this is like the situation of these people, the families. They are looking for loved ones. And they are like, some of them, they still have hope.
Yeah. The conflict displaced millions. They're scattered across the planet, much like your own family. Many of them are now returning. Some for good. They want to help build the country again. Some for a visit, like you did. How are they being received by those who stayed in Syria?
Actually, it's different. Like also, we can say like. When people, they didn't decide to go back, it's their right, because infrastructures in Syria, it's not on zero. It's like way below zero. Like no electricity, nothing. Some people, they don't have homes to go back to. So it's like the right of people, or they can't go back now. But for the people who came back, like it's different. Some people, some of them, they're talking about like we are the victims because we stayed away like for years. And some of the people said like, no, we are the victims because we stayed in the country with all this bad situation. So it's different, but I think most of the people now, they are agreed that we need to rebuild the country. So this is the most important.
Was there something that really surprised you when you went back, something you didn't expect?
Yes, actually, it's a small details, but I was shocked because, like, when I wanted to take a shower, like, there is no foam in the shampoo because of the sanctions. Because, like, the material you used in the soap industry, it's also in the explosions industry. So, because of the sanctions, Syrians, they don't have this. So, there is, like, nothing you can clean with it. Like, nothing has foam, nothing, like, go with the deep cleaning. It's a very small detail, but it can reflect a lot, like when you think about that, and this is in many like sides of life.
That was Rama Jarmakani. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you.